A very warm good evening to all the participants, and we shall be starting within 5 minutes.
Dr. Shasha, can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am. You're well audible, and let me first introduce you to our audience.
Dr. Shasha, I just want to share my screen. Just wanted to see that everything is working or not. If you
Sure,
can
ma'am.
just give me that option.
Sure. Now you can do, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, it is well visible, ma'am.
It's visible? Oh, okay. Yeah. Shall I stop sharing?
No, ma'am, you can. So, it's my privilege to welcome Dr. Namarta Mishra. And Dr. Namarta Mishra is currently the head of bioinnovations at KIT Technology Business Incubator, KIT Bhubaneswar. And ma'am is associated with nurturing, supporting, and planning for the startups who are into from their ideation stage to the well advanced stage. So without much wasting our time, ma'am, on behalf of ACIC MIT Meerut Foundation and IEEE UP section as well as STIC IIT Madras, I welcome you to enlighten our audience on the subject matter. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Shashwat, for giving me this opportunity to interact with young minds, and especially to all the organizers of this workshop, the entire ACAC Meerut Foundation team, and HTIC being the collaborator. I know I've been like it's my second home, I would say, in terms of KTBI. We have been working very closely over past couple of years. So it's the entire team of HTIC is very close to KTBI. Now, without much ado, I'll start my presentation. So I'm sure that all the participants that are present in today's platform, they will all agree that today is the best time to be an entrepreneur, right? With so much of buzz happening around us, like Make in India, Atmanirbhar Bharat, all the government schemes that is coming up. It's very, very obvious that the journey of an entrepreneur is less risky as compared down the line, like 10 years back or 15 years back, when the startup word was very new. But now everything is possible. I would say that today the ecosystem is there, which the enablers are there who can support your ideas, who can help your ideas to get translated to reality. And most importantly, there is a 360-degree holistic platform which we call as incubator is there. One of your university also has that. So there are hundred of incubators that are spread across India who can support innovation, entrepreneurship, who can support you in getting fund by helping you writing a good business plan. So funding is not an issue. uh, it's always I keep on saying things like this, that business plan, writing a good business plan is yet I would say it's difficult, but funding is there are a lot of funding resources. There are a lot of funding available across different ministries. That's not an issue. But again, award or grants, it doesn't happen by chance. We are not that lucky enough that one day I'll get a call like Dr. Namrata, Dr. Shashwat, they have received a grant of 1 crore. It doesn't happen like that. You have to put effort for it, and always give this analog, the clip art that you see in my slide. See, the success is is yes or no, whether you get a grant or you don't get a grant, unfortunately. But what people don't see is the dedication, the hard work, the discipline, the sacrifice that you and entire team have put forth to come so far. But remember, when you're writing a business proposal, when you're writing a grant for any fund, you need it, all these points, all these attributes, your dedication, hard work, discipline has to come across. When somebody reads your business proposal, when you pitch in front of investors or funders, these all things should come across. They should understand that yes, you have been working on, you have put so much of hard work and discipline. Because generally don't people don't give their heart out, they must be working very hard, but when they pitch, when they write the business proposal, all the hard work, dedication, that doesn't get highlighted. And that's where it's a the thin line of difference happen between a good business proposal and or a bad or unfortunately unsuccessful business proposal. I always say that getting a fund is a plan. Just like every game has its own set of rules and regulations, every funding agencies has its own set of objectives and milestones. Every investor has its own do's and do nots, what they are looking for. So you have to understand that when you're writing a business proposal to get funds from a particular ministry, government body, you need to understand what exactly they are looking for and then plan it accordingly. And if you plan it proper, if you plan it prior in a well defined, structured manner, I always say that you control the decision, you control it. So, over past 6 years, I would say, at being at KIT TBI when it was very nascent. Now we are one of the leading incubator across Pan India. So I've been into the system since a long time. I've been a member of a lot of selection committee of different funding agency, be it DST, DBT, MET. I'm a part of the Bhubaneswar City Knowledge Innovation Cluster, a meeting which is supported by PMO office, DST Technology Enabling Center. So we do sit in a lot of committees. We do have a lot of investor meets. So I understand it's not that I have received fund. I'm not that fortunate enough that I have got some grants or some funds from investment, because I don't have a company. I'm just an enabler. I believe in supporting innovation, entrepreneurship, on being on the other side of the table. But I do understand what exactly they look for. I have many often I have seen that people who get a grant, it's not necessary that the idea is wonderful or they are the best, they're doing something rocket science, or the one who doesn't get the fund or the grant money. It's not that the idea is something very bad or the team is bad. Majority of the time, it depends on the way you pitch, the way you write a business proposal. I always say that, see, I cannot write for you, but I can help you to think differently and what exactly they're looking for. And so it's very, very important to understand. I've been keeping on repeating this to understand what exactly the funders, the investors are looking for. So I've created this small rule book. It's very interesting. Let's go through it. It works, I would say. It works very, very thumb points, I would say. The first is, do not write the business proposals for yourself. Generally, what happens is that techies and researchers like us, our scientific instinct is so strong that when we start writing a grant proposal or a business proposal for investment, we become so obsessed with the idea that we keep on writing. We write everything all in and out. And then after seeing a 20-page document, we become happy that yes, we have put across the entire story. But remember that our job is not to make ourselves happy. We have to make the investors happy. We have to make the reviewers happy. And how to help the make the reviewers happy is by exactly putting what they are looking for. What is the mission of the funding agency? For example, BIRAC, if you look for BIRAC, they never fund any basic R&D project. So if you write a proposal for basic R&D project, then it's not the right platform. Similarly goes for TDB. They look for technologies that are at a higher TRL level. So if you write any prototype proposal, again, you get a failure. So investors, again, to which investors, what is their portfolio, whether they're looking for something on biotech, whether they're looking for something on clean tech or fintech. So you have to have a very clear understanding, like, to the funders and what they're looking for. It's not about you, it's about the funders, the givers who are sitting on the other side of the table. Second rule, the funders do not read the application because they want to, or they are tired of reading novels. They have nothing to do, and they really want to know, understand what is in your mind if something is going on. Just kidding. So you need to understand that any reviewer, when they are reading your business proposal or your application, grant application, they have been given the responsibility to do so, and they treat your application like a question answer uh, paper, just like when we apply for an exams, right? The examiner has a set of marks, the scoring sheet, and they look for the answers in the scoring sheet. Similarly, when you are looking for, when you're writing a business proposal or a grant application, there is a set of parameters based on which your proposal, your grant application will be evaluated. So, and if the funders do not get those answers, do not find, your application has not been highlighted these important points, then the funders will score you less. So don't be complex and keep all these things in mind. Third, the funders, they're not fortune tellers. They cannot read your mind. If you make the reviewers work hard, if you make the reviewers put things together, and if they have to guess what exactly you're doing, believe me, most of the time they guess wrong. So do not take the risk. You have to make it very simple, understandable for the funders, because think that it's the last time opportunity for you to interact or for somebody to understand your project. It's the discussion would very think that, okay, my business plan is, this is what I've written, but or when there's a question answer session, maybe if they have any questions, they will they will ask it, and I'll try to answer them. So many times they happen that if your proposal is not interesting, they might not go for question answer session. Also, they might not feel interested to ask you questions. So you have to put across all your details in your application, and it should be understandable. Fourth rule: reviewers or funders are never wrong. They're never right. They only provide assessment of the information you provide. Because the fifth rule goes along with this, that the feedback that you get is never for you as a person. It's about the information that you provide in your business proposal. So they are not judgmental. It's not about you. It's about the information about what you had put. Because many times I get a call from innovators saying that my business proposal is so good. I had written a wonderful, I put everything, but my team is so good. I have been working in this field since a long time, but I feel the reviews didn't understand the science behind my technology or my product. I always say that yes, you are correct. The funders, the reviewers didn't understand what exactly you are building. It's because that the way you have represented it. Had you represented your technology in a very understanding, a very lucid manner, maybe the result would have been different. I have seen many people whom I know personally. I've been mentoring them. When they're applying for any fund, they write to me, they talk to me. But very unfortunately, when I see their application, their proposal, the business proposal, I feel sad because all the missing the points, the USPs of the project, they has not been highlighted in the proposal. That's where they do the mistake. So remember, it's the first and last chance. That's how you have to take it. Build your team. Techies and researchers like us, we are the happiest people when we are in a lab doing experiments. We don't feel like going to the field and talking to investors and customers because that's not a cup of tea. Because sometimes the investors will say that you answer all these 20 questions of me, and then I will think of putting money in your company, which we don't like. Scientists doesn't like that. But you need to understand that at the end of your journey, entrepreneurial journey, at the end of your product development journey, your final goal, your final destination is how your product has to be sellable, how your product will hit the market, how will there be a cash flow? Because without cash, how will the company work? How will the kitchen kaise chalega? So it's very important for you to find a person who can pitch it. You may frame the business proposal, the person who will pitch it, who will do the commercialization for you. So until you find that person, you need to learn the skill. But it's always important, if you are a hardcore scientist, you are developing, look for a management guy, a business person who can pitch it in front of investors, who can pitch it in when there's a funding opportunity. Because they know there are a lot of attributes where a business person has a business acumen person understands it. So build your team. It's not only about the product or technologies, but also about your business proposal, a commercialization plan, which I'll be talking in detail in my forthcoming slides. Rule number 7, last not but the least, you need to contact the right person who can definitely guide you in the right direction. You save time. Now, since there are so many incubators, since there are so many mentors who are there ready to help you, I feel that there are a lot of opportunities for you for have to have a crosstalk, to talk to entrepreneurs who have gotten investor funding, who have gotten grant. They can guide you exactly like how was their journey, how was their experience, and that would help you. And if there's a grant application, talk to the managers who are dealing with those grant applications, and they can tell you, okay, these are the do's and these are the do nots. Keep that in mind and then start working. So this is basically a structured framework of any business proposal or a grant application that you are applying to any funding agencies. These are all the important criteria. We'll be discussing one by one. First is title. Remember, title is very, very important. Think of a catchy title. You can be creative, but be concise. Do not make it too long. To the point so that people will remember your project, you by your title. Because remember, when there's investor meet or when there is a selection committee for any funds, in a day we listen to almost 20 to 25 ideas. And maybe at the end of a day or at the end of the committee, the reviewers, the selection committee members, they punch the scores. So it may happen that they might forget about what exactly your technology was. Because at the end of the day, they are also human. So you have to leave your impression that once they read the title, they will understand that, yes, this is the person who was working on this. So your title is your identity. Just like first impression lasts long, similarly, Your title should be so catchy. It should include all the very important keywords which will highlight the USP, the innovative component of your project, and the market potential. And do not use words like analysis, study. So that would reflect that what you're proposing is something, not a business project. It's still in the R&D stage, exploratory stage, and it has a lot of developmental activities need to be done to come to a level to be ready for commercialization. So rather than that, try to include keywords like I'm developing something which is novel, the first of its kind diagnostic kit, which is very affordable, 1/10 of the similar products that are there in the market. So I'm just giving you random examples. You need to put up important points that will. Okay, so I see a lot of chat from Bhumika. Bhumika, after my presentation gets over, I'll definitely take up all the questions and we'll make it a very interactive session at the end. So moving ahead. Okay, so good title is a clearly written statement that if somebody read it, he will understand that what is the problem that you are trying to solve, what's unmet need, and how you're going to solve, what is the solution and how it's going has the impact. So all these keyword has to be included when you are framing the title of the proposal. Then comes a proposal summary or your business summary. When you're writing a business proposal, your one-pager concept note, or when you're writing a grant application, your proposal summary is just like the abstract of any research publication. If there are scientists here, if there are academicians here, you can just relate to the abstract of any publication. It's just the storyline. Is what generally people do a mistake is they talk a lot about the background, about these giving statistics. For example, if somebody is developing a diagnostic kit to diagnose cancer, prostate cancer, they will talk about how relevant, how prevalent is cancer, how many people are suffering from cancer. No, that's not needed because people are aware that cancer is now very prevalent, is one of the deadliest disease that people are suffering. If you talk about pollution from plastic, it's people are aware of it. So no need to spend your time, because when you are pitching to an investor, you would hardly get 10 minutes time. They don't give you 1 hour. Just 7 to 10 minutes you have to put your story across. If you have to writing a business proposal, you have a word limit, so you can't write everything and anything. You have to be very choosy of identifying like what needs to be put. So I always say that you, rather than talking about the background, talk about the challenges in the solution. For diagnosis of cancer, what are the current techniques and what is the challenge of these current techniques? So remember, the challenges of the current solution is an opportunity for you. So you can say that, okay, there cancer is a problem, but yes, there are solutions for diagnosis of prostate cancer. But again, each of the solution has some limitation, and to overcome this limitation, I am developing a novel technique. Talk about the methodology and the final outcome, then how it is going to have an impact. So the entire your proposals, your concept note, your proposal summary should be in a form of a complete storyline, starting from the background, highlighting that it's an unmet need, moving forward to methodology, the solution that you propose, and how it is going to have an impact in the community, be it social, be it economical. So problem statement should be simple. Do not make it sound too over ambitious or too big to be solved. Remember, the funders, they will always think that, okay, when they're putting money, they will try to get the reward, the result immediately. Nobody has that patience to wait to put money in a project that will have a result in coming 5 years or 10 years. If nobody has the patience, they will always see that whether it is translational, whether it's actually doable in a short span of time, whether they can hit market easily or not. That's very important. And here, always, what generally in Indian context people do is that they try to find, they build a hammer and then they start looking for a nail. So don't develop a solution, a product, and then look for the need of the product. Identify a need and then think of a solution. Go for the other way around. And this is a problem statement canvas. These are the common things that you have to talk about: the context, the impact, why is the problem arising, and what are the current alternatives. Again, why the current solutions are not sufficient. So you have to focus on these points. Okay. Then comes your objectives and milestones. Here you have to say what are the objectives that you're proposing, because when you're reaching your final product or your business proposal, that I'm going to develop this, what are the steps that you will take to reach your final goal. So that as your objectives and milestones, and these needs to be measurable and vis-a-vis the time frame. For example, if you are writing a business proposal for 18 months grant, then it should be for 18 months. It should not look like it is for 3 years or 4 years down the line. If you are pitching a business proposal for an investor, it should be above tier level 4 or 5. It should be at a preclinical studies, everything has been done. Then you talk about that we are in talk with these partners who will help, channel partners who will help to penetrate the market. So keep all these things in mind and then frame your objectives and milestones. Methodology, how you're going to do it. Because when somebody is putting money, they will definitely would like to know that whether your technology, your process is technologically viable or not, is feasible or not, is robust or not. Team. It's very important for you to have a team. If you are a team of only academicians, look for a business person, talk to them, have them on board on your team. If you are in talk with hospital, industry partner, if you have something developing on a medical sector, on a healthcare sector, clinicians are must. So this is just people generally ignore the team, but remember, the maximum marks always goes to the team, because that's where the funders will have a trust factor that yes, the team is good, the people who will be developing this, who will be bringing the product to the market, that they are robust people, they have the experience, they have the skill set, they have the enthusiasm, they are ambitious, and they are completely onto it. If your team is generally, what people do is they put all experienced people on a top-notch positions on the team. But again, that's a good. There's always a pros and cons. It's a good thing, but again, the con is that the funders or the investors were like, are you really these people would dedicate time to your product development? Because they are themselves, they're busy people. How much time? What is the engagement of these experts in your product development journey? So you need to look for people who would actually give time, who will be actually working with you in building it. Novelty. It's a very innovative element. What is very simple? It's what is that differentiates your product from similar products in the market, in terms of better performance, in terms of low cost, in terms of faster, you can say more sensitivity, more specificity. So what are the new capabilities that your product has as compared to the similar one? That is your novelty. Preliminary work done is, of course, when you are proposing a business plan, or when you're writing a grant application to any funding agency, to our investors, you have to say that what stage you are currently at, that what is this your technology readiness level, whether you're a proof of concept or you have built your prototype in a clinical trial stage, your validation stage, or you're an early stage commercialization. So that would help the evaluators to understand that whether you well fit into the scheme, whether you are the right person that they are looking for or not. So what work you have done so far, that you have to mention, at what stage you're currently now, and when you get the funds, when you get funds in terms of grants or in terms of soft loan, in terms of debts, what are the other activities that you are going to do. Remember, any fund, be it equity fund or be it investment fund, it's not about the prize money, right? They would always look for that, how we're going to utilize. So what work you have done, what are the remaining work that you will be doing with that money that we're asking, that has to be clearly defined. Value proposition. So value proposition refers to the USP. USP is a unique selling proposition, or the unique advantages that your product has as compared to, again, the similar product or technology that's there in the market. Great value proposition, it demonstrates like what a brand has to offer to a customer that no other competitors has, or how your service or product fulfills a need that no other company or similar product or technology has able to fill. For example, you develop a medtech device that can be used as an alternative to surgical procedures, and your value proposition would be like, I'm developing something which has no surgical invasions required. It's a point of care device. It's more efficient, it's affordable, it's safety for the patients. So all these things has to be highlighted. Opportunity is what is your product has impact on the community, whether it's health benefit, whether it's societal benefit, whether it's economical benefit. There you can give a statistic about who are the people, the customer, your market base. Okay, so then you can say that I'm developing something which has a huge market base, where there are a huge number of people who would be wanting my product or my technology. So that's a kind of opportunity for you. See, every innovative product has product development journey has a risk. So you cannot say that what I am developing something is a risk free. Then it means that there is no innovation, right? When there is something innovation, there could be success, there could be failure. So as an entrepreneur, you need to understand what are the risks involved in, and again, look for the alternatives. Like, right, if you fail in plan A, what is your plan B? And how will you deal with plan B? So these all things, as an entrepreneur, as an innovator, you should be clearly in mind. Business plan. How do you plan to make money? Because at the end of the day, it's all about money, right? It's about, there's this money, I forget that cliché. Honey is sweeter than something sunny, but not sweeter than money. So when we are doing any innovation or doing any product, of course, our product is important, but there should be some customers to buy that product, and the customer should be ready to give money. So your business plan is very, very important. Just to ask somebody, my slides are visible, right? Can anyone respond?
Yes, ma'am.
It's fine. Okay, thank you. So your commercialization will go deep a bit into this section, because this is very, very important about your business plan, about your commercialization plan, and it should offer a very clear and a concise description of your proposed work, market potential, and the planned path to commercialization. It's about your strategy that your company will use to generate revenue, business opportunities, and how you're planning to move ahead. Okay, so the 5 C's. As a company, it is very, very important for you to create value for your customers. And how is value created? It is created by meeting your customers' need. A company, remember, you have to need to define itself not by the product itself, but by the customer benefit provided. You will never be known by what you are selling, but how your customers will benefit. That is how you will leave your footprint. You leave your mark in the innovation space. So, customer need. What needs do we need seek to satisfy? These 5 C's are very, very important when you are thinking of developing a product. What is the customer need? What needs does the customer have that we can satisfy? What special competence does a company has, does a team has, which can meet those customer needs? Competition, who compete with us in reaching a target? Again, you need to know your foes, you need to know your enemies. Enemies are your competitors, but again, they are also your friends, because until unless you know them well, you cannot draw this differentiator. So treat them as your friends, understand them in depth. How is their the path, how what they are doing in and out. That would help you to frame your own business plan. Similarly, collaborators. Who should you need to collaborate with to help you, and how do we motivate them? So always I say it's about working together. It's about your stakeholders, not about you as a single, as your CEO or CEO. It's the entire your managers, your leads, your technical people, your business people, your marketing people, all your collaborators, your industry partners, all have to be come together in one platform. So they are very important. Context: what cultural, tech, and legal factors limit what is possible? What are the challenges? What are the factors that can limit? These are also very important. Then comes your company overview. So, what's company overview? The company overview is asking for a brief description of the company to give the investors or reviewers understand about your company as a whole. They're looking for a basic information like who are the CEOs, what is the organography of your company, present number of employees, what are the core competence that they have, short description of your company. All these factors has to be there, right? So if your company, remember, if your company consists of very few employees, doesn't matter. Describe the capabilities of the team, specifically if they relate to the commercialization of your technology, and go into detail about listing your previous history of getting funding, the regulatory experience that you had, any letter of support that you've received. Put that. Also include your vision for the future and the short and long run. How will you grow a sustainable business entity? It's not about when they are putting money, they are not looking for the present, how small or big your entity is, because they're promoting startups. A startup cannot be more than 5 years old. That's generally it's a criteria. But they would like to know that will you be a startup and then diminish, or you have a long-term plan for growing to a sustainable business entity? So will you meet those critical management functions as your company evolves? Right now you are a team of 4. When you grow, do you have that managemental capabilities for your company to evolve also? Then comes your market, customers, and competitors, your competition, your market size. People ask, what is market size? It's defined by, remember, the total annual sales of a product that addresses a particular market need. But again, you have to be very specific about what is the market need are. If applicable, try to break your market into primary, secondary, and tertiary customer base. This will help you, to describe the target market segments and size while providing a brief profile to your customers. Like for larger market, this, for smaller market, I'll be targeting this. This should be my channel. So make it divided into your customer base. And remember, when identifying this market, you have to ask questions to yourself like, why should I target this market? What are the benefits? What are data and studies that I have to collect? Statistical data that shows that the market that you for the product that you're developing is big. The trend is big. And generally innovators, they overestimate the market penetration, which is again a common mistake. The best way to go ahead is look to your competitors, how they have penetrated the similar or same market, see their growth, and then think of your market penetration strategy. Then comes your market characteristics. This is about what should be your product characteristic that would motivate a customer to buy your product or not. Remember, customers are sensitive to price. So make very clear the advantages that your product will bring to the market. Also highlight about your cost analysis. Do a rough cost estimation that gives the manufacturing cost, this is selling cost, this is so. And when you may say that when you go for a large scale production, of course the cost will come down, but again you need to have those numbers. And again, when whatever you're putting on the numbers, you need to have those facts or those figures to substantiate your claims. Just don't give random numbers, because you'll be stuck if people ask like, how did you come, like you are saying that you'll be generating almost 5,000 rupees as a profit in while selling up one product. How you have come to this number? So those all calculations needs to be done. These homework has to be done. And again, if the business model calls for licensing a drug candidate to a larger partner company, the partnering market again becomes another essential consideration. Okay, so strategic alliances or licensing or partnerships should focus on the companies actually that have the sale expertise to market your product. You should not again join hand with beginners. You have to join hand with people who are there, who are doing the business, who are into that game. And also describe about your marketing and sales strategy. Give an overview of your current competitive landscape, any potential competitors over next several years. They would not ask about who are your competitors, because the people who are sitting, they understand the entire landscape. The products that is there in the pipeline still not hit the market, they are also aware of that. So you can't fool, right? So you need to have a very, very clear landscape of your competitors who are there in the pipeline, who are there in the market, and then try to understand that how is your product or technology is different from them. Intellectual property. This section should summarize how the company will protect the intellectual property that enables commercialization of its product while keeping your competitors at bay. You have to safeguard your innovation. And also, they would like to know that if the company plans to issue additional patents throughout the process. And again, whether you're going for design patent, a product patent, a process patent, what patents protect the idea, whom do they belong, all these points have to be mentioned. So if you have not filed the patent, they will always ask you that why you have not filed it. And what is your licensing filing strategy, so that to make sure that no one else get it first. So all these things, think why, before framing your business proposal, business plan. These points are very, very important. Then production marketing. This is also very, very important. Here you have to describe how the production of your product or process or service will occur. There are 4 P's. I always say: product, place, promotion, pricing. Product is should not be the thing itself, but rather the total package of the benefits obtained by the customer. It's about the entire product life cycle. Okay, so management always, where the company continuously tries to learn more about the consumers from their reaction to the introduced product. So when you talk about the product, they will always want to know. You can say that yes, this is my first version of product, I'll be launching it, and then depending on the feedback, I'll be again refining the product, and these are the various other follow-ups that might happen. So that is a complete product life cycle should be there in your mind. Place, the marketing channel is again the set of mechanism and network by which a company takes a product to the market. Okay, what are the channels of distribution? What is the promotion? How do you communicate with customers to foster awareness about that a new product has come up? Pricing, again, I always say that pricing is, customers are very sensitive to pricing, so you need to understand what should be the best price of your customer to penetrate the market of your product. So examples of the revenue stream generation, this section describes how you plan to make money selling of your product, whether it is B2B or B2C, whether you're going for manufacturing or direct sales, whether you are selling through because when you're developing a product, there could be additional low-hanging fruit or spin-offs, which also has a commercialization potential. You need to understand, you need to be very, very cognizant of the fact that, yes, I'm trying to develop something which will take down the line 2 or 3 years, but in this development journey, there could be a low-hanging fruit also, smaller products, which also has a commercialization potential. These all things you need to think about. Licensing, whether you're going for service model, whether you are going for subscription model, all these factors are very, very important and has to be put in your business proposal. Then comes your contextualizing and quantify the problem. So whatever you are talking about, your problem statement, back to the first point, you have to contextualize it, what to pitch and how should you pitch. Is a smart is a way. The only thing is you have to be smart, and smart not in terms of your looks or about your personality. It's about your product, the way you present. Be very simple. Your idea should look simple. You should not, because generally people make it complicated. They think that if it sounds big, their problem sounds big, a solution sounds big, maybe we'll get some big money. that is actually not the scenario. You need to make the problem and the solution sound very simple, very interesting, very doable. So be specific, be sharp. M is measurable. Whatever you are saying, it should be measurable. The success should be measurable in terms of a solution. Attainable. It should not look like an over-ambitious project. It should be doable in that required time frame. Relevant. Again, relevance is very, very important in terms of your problem, in terms of your market, in terms of the funding agency. Time bound. Again, it cannot be a 5 years or 10 years proposal. It has to be a time bound proposal. Then comes this is how I'll end my presentation very quickly. Once you write your business proposal, it's a time for you to pitch it to give the money, take the money, or to take the money from, be it a grant money from a government body or be it an investment money from the investors. You have to pitch it properly. And there are again 7 tips that I will give you because generally what we say is the elevator pitch for investment, or whenever you call for a presentation for any grant, they give you hardly 7 to 10 minutes. And that 7 to 10 minutes, you have to leave your mark. So first is logical framework. Let me tell you actually what happens the moment we get to know that yes, we have now gotten this opportunity to present what we do. We open a presentation, we scribble a bit everything that we know, and after that 2025 slide, we assume that yes, we have created a very impressive pitch deck. But please do not do that. It has to be first sorted in a mind, then on paper, and then converting into presentation, which again has to be reiterated a lot of time. And then only the final outcome would be very impressive. If you don't do that, if you start making your presentation right away, it becomes all kitchery, hodgepodge. And remember, they give you 7 to 10 minutes for presentation. It may happen that you barely past 5 slides and your time is out and they ask you to stop. But again, the people, many applicants, they say that how will we pitch in 7 minutes? It's a product of 3 years. We have been working in this field for 3 years, and how do you expect us to put everything in 7 minutes? Always say that. Give this example that have you seen any TV ad? They're very short because they're very expensive. Every second day, it's very expensive. So in that 20 seconds, in that 60 seconds, the entire story has to come out. The way they pitch, it will attract the customer to go and buy the product. All these elements should be there in the ad. So that's how you have to do it. You need to do the same thing. Just like TV ad, the entire story, you understand what is a product for, and they will tell you the USPs that you will go to market and buy it. It's a similar thing that you have to do. Tell a compelling story. Okay, that's very, very important that when you see an ad, you remember it, right? Your Maggie 2 minutes ad, you still remember because it's the entire story they tell. Okay, and it's always better to add a personal touch. For instance, if I've heard many startups, if they're developing, for example, there's an entrepreneur who's developing a kit for diagnosis of preeclampsia, which is a hypertensive disorder during pregnancy. She always, and she being a woman entrepreneur, she has suffered from this disease. So she always starts with her own story, the complications that she faced during her pregnancy. And since there was no such first-hand kind of diagnostic kit available for detecting that particular disorder, hypertensive disorder, she and the baby had to go through a lot of problems and challenges, and because of which it motivated her to develop, to start working on this innovative product, that is a diagnostic kit which can detect preeclampsia at a very early stage. So that's how you add a personal touch and people remember. Okay, you connect to the audience emotionally. That's very important. Again, speak slow. I've seen many times that people, they become, the वो exam tension जो होता है ना, मुझे 7 दिन में सब कुछ बोलना है, it becomes like a Rajdhani. And the reviewers actually doesn't understand what exactly, when you started, when you ended. So speak slow, but yet demonstrate passion, be confident. Don't say everything. जो Hindi movies बनते हैं ना, the good movies, the most important job is that of editor. The cameraman, director, they will do it, everything. They will go away. But the final thing is that of an editor who cut it, make it relevant. So generally, innovators, they are in love with the ideas so much that they would like to say everything and anything. You don't want to delete one statement. They will say, no, this is also very important. I have to keep this. And then it becomes a 40-page document or a 50 slides. So you have to be dispassionate in terms of being precise. You have to be very to the point, crisp. Important. Highlight your USPs. Pick up words that people remember you, and if you need to repeat it again and again, your unique selling point, proposition, no worries. Be it. Because the commercial Bollywood movies bante hain na, usme there are 2 hookup steps that we remember, 2 beautiful songs that we remember, and dialogues. Even if somebody asks you like, what's Sholay? the word surely comes to us, we know the two dialogues that is very, very common. So it's the same thing. You have to leave your mark. You have to pick up points and put it in your presentation and the way you pitch, so that they remember that, yes, this is the guy who was developing this. Be time bound. Nobody will give you extra time. So please practice, practice, practice. And again, understand what is the question that the investors or the funders are asking, and then answer. Don't be enthusiasm and jump right away before hearing the questions. And that's where you do the mistake. So understand and then answer the questions. That's final is simple, humble, grounded. Be very, if you be simple, if you be humble, if you be grounded, sky is the limit. That's all here. I'll stop here, and it's open for questions. And I've just posted my email ID. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. Okay, I see a couple of questions in the chat box. I'll be taking one by one. So there's a question from Bhumika: how to find that right person or incubator? How to approach right and successful entrepreneur to guide us? Oh, that's very simple. Bhumika, if you go to any DBT or BIRAC or ESG site, you can see the list of incubators that they have supported. Okay, they're supported by DST, supported by NSTDB or BIRAC. You'll see a list of incubators supported. Then try to find out which is the incubator that is close to your geography, close to your hometown, because it's always good to be physically present. But again, there is now a concept of co-incubation. So you can be co-incubated virtually, co-incubated at multiple incubators. That's the best way to go about. You don't have to be generally incubators also, they become so obsessed with their in-house incubators that they don't allow the entrepreneurs to go around. But that should not be the way. It's all about the collaboration and partnership. Remember, innovation cannot happen in silos. So if you get stuck in one incubator, if you get stuck in one laboratory, your science is never going to have wings. So you had talk to incubators, be associated with multiple incubators. That's the best way. I always encourage a co-incubation model. And then if there's a proper incubator, it's just a mature incubator, they must be having a website, I presume. So there you can just see, and you will find a contact address, write an email. If you are getting a response, then they're the good ones. They are there to support or mentor you. If you are trying to connect, if you've gotten a number and people are not responding, then probably they are full. They don't have enough time to support, to mentor you. So that's how you have to be smart enough to pick up your incubator. And how to approach your successful entrepreneurs. There are tons of now this COVID pandemic situation has come, so online courses, online programs, they are like rapid. Every day we get invitations, or we get a lot of links for these online sessions. So, and these are generally free. You don't have to pay registration fees. So get into a lot of these sessions where entrepreneurs meet, where entrepreneurs, they share their journey, their challenges, and they also share the number. And they're very open. People who are successful, it's only when they share the knowledge. So they will not, people who are unsuccessful, they only don't share the knowledge. Otherwise, if they are good people, they are doing great. They will definitely give you tips. Okay, I hope, Bhumika, I answered your question. If I didn't, you can unmute and go ahead if you have any other questions. Moving ahead to Shivansh, what are the best ways to conduct market research surveys before starting to work on your idea to understand its feasibility in terms of cost required to conduct them and the effectiveness? Oh yeah, there are a lot of online things that is there in the uh, Google. You'll find a lot of platforms where you can do a simple Google search. You'll find with using the keywords of your products, you'll see that the similar products will put up, or else go to different funding agencies. For example, BIRAC has supported a lot of innovative projects. So and these all innovative products they showcase in their own website, so that will give you a clear idea about what are the similar products that has been supported by government or have reached the market. Even when they are going for product launch, they do highlight that. So that will help you to understand who are your customers, who are your competitors, and then try to draw a differentiator. Sneha, thank you for your kind words. um, these are the things, your appreciation, yeah, they keeps us going. uh, okay, will it be possible to share your slides? Of course, Sneha, I'll share my slide with Dr. Shashwat, and you can be in touch with him and get the slides. And if you feel if you have any doubt, you can write to me. You can get my number, it's already flashed in the presentation. You can also talk to Dr. Shashwat if you want to have any other questions.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And it was really a very, very knowledgeable session. And being from the research background and breaking that glass ceiling of being an stereotype researcher to outcome-based, product-based company, or some innovator who is actually fueling the organization. I think that is a transformation needed, and this session will definitely help our viewers to just understand that what are the key limits they want to follow. And uh, participants, I will tell you that if you have to be very professional with your presentations and other things, you should first apply to KIIT. And I will definitely share my experience that KIT Bhubaneswar is one of the organization where if you are going to present, they keep the time very, very strict. And
You have
the Dr.
experience in the
Namrata,
last
I
meeting, yes,
kudos
sir.
to your team. Yeah, kudos to your team and the timekeepers. They are very polite. It's not like that. They just tell you that very abruptly. They are very polite, but at the same time they are very strict, and they that maintains the whole procession. And it is really, really very admirable. And thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing your experience. And it was not like just another session where some slides were read and other things. It was more like something, some veteran who is actually telling, who is actually wanting people to apply more and more, and wants to help them out. Thank you so much,
Absolutely,
ma'am.
Dr. Chacha. There's so much of opportunity, sir. I really feel disappointed when somebody uh, doesn't knock at the right door. So that's where, when we were
Definitely,
researchers, maybe 15 years back, we didn't have this kind of ecosystem, which is now present. So
definitely,
seeing
ma'am.
that gloomy side, now seeing this positive, I always feel enthusiasm to support all these young entrepreneurs who have some big dreams of their own. Okay, Mohammed, you have asked that to share my LinkedIn profile. You won't find me in any social media. I'm not in Facebook also, so I'm one of those ancient dinosaurs living in this digital era. But yes, I don't get time. I'm into so many things that even WhatsApp also sometimes I become slow. But that's how my life is. That's how my 24 hours pass. But Zubair, just call me up. You can just send me a text. I'll definitely answer. Every individual is unique. So do you also, I assume. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Shashwat. Thank you, sir, for giving me
Thank
this
you so
opportunity.
much, ma'am. If there are any further question, I will direct it to you guys.
I look forward to the any upcoming sessions we have. Maybe we can plan for something on
Definitely,
funding
ma'am.
opportunities. You know, there are so much of grant proposals, grant
We have one.
opportunities. Okay.
On 11th of December, we have a schedule a session with you.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. Have a wonderful Saturday night. Have a relaxing Sunday. Bye bye. See you all again very soon.
Thank you, all the participants.